Oh, that's so fragile. Oh, don't go, man. Hello, beautifuls. Welcome back to my Chanel, and welcome to another episode of Unhinged TikTok Makeup Beauty Fails, my lovelies.
I am shocked and disgusted that this is happening.
So if you don't know me, my name is Luxeria, and this is my co-host, Mr. Biscuit. Yes, I have been a makeup artist for 16 years. It'll be 17 years this year. Ugh. And I also have a biochemistry degree because I have a fundamental interest in the way things work. Isn't that right, Biscuit? Yes! And this is the series here on my Chanel where I react to some of the most unhinged videos available on beauty TikTok.
I can't wait to die.
It could be hacks, it could be tutorials, it could be weird little tips and tricks, or even just a PSA, public service anus.
How vile.
If you want to follow me over on TikTok, it is xxluxeria. Feel free to tag me in any such nonsense you see over there in the beauty world. With that being said, my lovelies, we've seen some unhinged things already in this little series, haven't we? Fillers gone wrong, girls. That's correct, Biscuit. We have seen a lot of fillers gone wrong. With that being said, my lovelies, grab yourself a beverage. Today I'm on the Ultra Rosa. Pop your Ohrhanger right into your little TikTok hole. Yes, it fits nicely.
Don't tell me what to do.
And let's watch some unhinged TikTok fails, shan't we, Biscuit? Okay, oh, I already see some exciting things going on with this one. Okay, what went wrong with my under eye filler and how to avoid it by Natural Plastics? Starting off strong, are we this time, my lovelies? Let's have a watch.
What went wrong with my under eye filler and how to avoid it?
Right.
As you can see when I smile, there is a large bulge underneath the left side of my dark circles.
Oh no.
It's not as noticeable on my right side, but it is still there.
Oh.
This is known as the Tyndall effect, which resulted from my injector improperly placing my filler too superficially under the skin and going underneath my dark circles instead of above them, resulting in them looking more pronounced.
Oh no.
Make sure you go to an experienced injector, and if something looks off, say something. Don't spend extra time and money getting them dissolved like me.
Yes, I will agree with that. So, under eye filler, my loves. Goodness me. I myself am no stranger to a bit of filler, but it can go wrong. I have had some filler go wrong, actually, in my life. Mainly on my lips, but I've also had a little bit of an experience elsewhere, my lovely. So, I have also had under eye filler. Under eye filler in the UK can only be done by one specific brand of filler. I think is it Teesprinh? She's got a B-Tech. It's the only one licensed in the UK for use under the eye. And do you know what I wish I knew before I'd got under eye filler myself, my lovelies? I wish I'd learned how invasive it is. Now I go to an excellent practitioner who can actually do it beautifully and I don't feel violated or anything. But the first time that I had my under eye fillers done, my lovelies, I was like, oh, this is a horrible experience. It's done with something called a cannula, which looks like this. A cannula is a kind of needle that doesn't have a sharp edge, and the fluid does not actually come out of the end of the needle. It kind of comes out of this little, like, side hole. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that.
Sucking dick and cock.
Disgusting, no say. An under eye filler actually goes in through an injection hole made out here. The reason why you don't go straight in with filler is because right here there are some really important veins, arteries, capillaries, all sorts, which can really get messed up if they are pierced. Under eye filler goes in from the outside, and then your practitioner should know to gently place filler in the area that is most sunken on the eye socket, and also in some cases by creating that extra depth there you can actually alleviate dark circles. The reason why we have like prominent dark circles here is because the blood is really close to the surface of the skin is thinner, whereas, you know, like on your cheek when you just have like nice skin color, the blood is a lot deeper in and you've got like fat pockets and all sorts there. As we age, our under eyes do in fact change shape over time. Sad reality of being a human being on this planet. But under eye filler, when done well, can actually provide a huge burst of like a youthful, fresher appearance. I don't know if you can see it on my eyes. I can't remember which side it is, but one side you can actually see a little bit of my under eye filler. Where is it? Is it that side? I think it's that side. If I tilt my head up and down, maybe you can see it. Maybe it's this side. Forget which side of my face it is. But you can see a very slight bump, which I'm not actually that fussed about. I know in about 6 months' time, that area will have dissolved and it will be time for me to get a top-up. So unfortunately, when it comes to under-eye fillers, not everyone is an ideal candidate, but always make sure you do your research properly because sometimes you do get the Tyndall effect, which is where you can see the filler superficially underneath the skin, and nobody really wants that, do they? No. Well, I didn't expect to be talking about under-eye filler today, no. Oh, we've got a foam applique masterclass to the face. This one is 2 minutes long, oh my goodness. By Ask Ellen Beauty. What is this? Let's have a listen, shall we?
My makeup lesson didn't turn up, so I'm going to teach you
what I would have taught her.
Okay.
TV makeup edition.
TV makeup?
makeup has become a lot harder in recent years.
Oh.
When I started out, you just whacked it on heavy and powdered them down. These days, we have every makeup artist's worst nightmare. HD cameras. I don't know who decided we needed to see individual nose hairs, but here we are. This means we need full coverage glam with high precision.
Yes.
Anything that says HD is your friend.
Yes.
All discoloration must be extirpated.
Yes.
I don't want to see this. Neutralise in here. A little blush to map the look. You know the drill. Minimal blending.
I
You need the stripes.
do actually just want to say here, HD is an older technology now, interestingly enough. Like, I don't film in HD. I film in 6K and above. But I will agree that the makeup that you do for like cinema or TV or anything like that is a little bit different to how you would do your makeup in like a day-to-day basis. So I'm very interested to hear more. Minimal blending I heard there, which personally not gonna quite agree with, but we'll see.
Stripey. 2 foundations. The darker one needs to match your body.
Yes.
Starting with the darker sections, you want to blend the stripes, not annihilate them. Lighter colour, minimal product. We love cake, but not on the face. We're going to let this air dry. We'll come back to him in a minute. Time for brows, and you need a magnifying mirror. Fluffy brows can look unkempt on camera, and
Yes.
people who watch television are old. I recommend a more structured brow. Little
Yes.
eye base so nothing moves under the hot lights.
Yes, yes.
This is Mac Paint Pot and she's still the GOAT. There's a reason why
Paint
we
Pot,
all
yes.
still carry this in our kits.
Yes.
Time for eyes and it's all about neutrals. Place your crease with your eye open. Carve out the lid. Think 90s smoky eye. Little liner. Little mascara. We need lashes with an invisible band.
Yes.
Time to set. HD powder. HD powders have gotten a bad rap because they can cause flashback on the red carpet.
Yes.
This is a shame because in person and on video, almost invisible.
Yes.
This is no filter. Where are my pores? Do the
Gone,
other
girls. But this is
side.
TikTok,
I
so
know you
everybody's
like glow,
filtered.
But you must matte down the T. Shiny skin looks white on television. Add
Yes.
some bronze and blush if you want it. Obsessed with this colour. Add some lips. This is with beauty mode and 0 filter. Lights, camera, action.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, I like that. Oh, I like,
We're
yes. Okay, yes. Let's talk about makeup for televisione, shall we, my lovelies?
Yes, yes.
One thing that you're gonna have to do if you want to become a makeup artist or someone that's just really confident with their makeup is learning where to do certain types of makeup for what sort of thing that you're doing. I've only done makeup for television, probably less than 5 times in my life. But the way that I paint my face for my YouTube channel is more of a way that you would do it for cinema. Does that make sense? Are you interested? If I piqued your interest, well, have a little listen, my lovelies. When it comes to doing makeup for TV or for cinema or anything like that, you've got to really understand 2 separate things: minimizing texture and color harmony. When you are filming on something like what I am filming on, which is a Canon cinema camera, there's this magical little thing known as color grading, which means you have to be very, very, very careful about the kind of colors you use on the skin because they can become really blown out, really white, or just way too oversaturated. When I first switched to this camera, you can go back and see some of my older videos, and I was really learning about what color grading is and how it can affect the way that an entire piece. You'll quite often see that my blush there looks incredibly intense, rather than a subtle little kiss of color, because I had to up the saturation in order to make the colors look like real colors. So sometimes when you are color grading, you'll see something like skin tone and be like, oh, that needs to be a bit more like skin tone, and then everything on top of that skin tone becomes more vibrant because of that. And that is something that you learn over time when you become a lot more confident with your skills. The way that I do my makeup for cinema environments is to think a little bit more muted. When it comes to bronzers, you want to think a little bit more muted than a little bit more intense. Intense can look absolutely beautiful during photo shoots, or maybe if you're on location. If you're in studio lighting, the chances are that really super intense bronzer is just going to look straight up neon orange. And depending on the kind of look you go for, that's generally not what you want. Something you also have to consider is lighting placement. When I was working in studios, my lovelies, I would always try and scout the studio, and there's a reason. If you have nice flat lighting straight ahead from a key light that's right on top of the camera, you're going to have to try and bring depth back to the cheeks and also to the eyes. Whereas if you have a key light that's off to one side and you're creating that gorgeous little Rembrandt effect with the shadows underneath one eye, the chances are that you're probably going to want your beauty makeup to minimize texture. That is something where HD setting powders come in beautifully because they are silicone, and silicone has a wonderful way of reflecting light in a really uniform manner. So yes, Ask Ellen Beauty, I do quite like this video actually. I love talking about makeup and how it changes for each environment that you're in, because quite a lot of the times we're seeing right now, event photography is often retouched in post-production, and therefore it kind of really doesn't matter if there are some makeup faux pas, because it's probably gonna be corrected in post anyway. But video is so unforgiving. I can't believe we're just about to enter the era of 12K cameras and 12K screens. That kind of frightens me, because already in 6K and above, I'm kind of like, please don't look at me too much.
She's dead.
Right, who's next? Who's next? Right, who's this? More from Mina. Ooh, what do we have here? I've been seeing a lot of videos. Me too.
I've been seeing a lot of videos about underpainting, and today
Right.
I'm trying it.
Oh,
It's when you put
underpainting.
concealer, contour, and blush under your foundation. I've applied everything, now I'm gonna blend. I'm not sure if I was supposed to blend all of this out. I might as well keep going. Now that everything's on, I'm taking my
is
foundation.
fast.
Applying on my
Oh,
hand
Jojo
rather than my
Manouche.
face, working it into the sponge, and buff it into your face. I don't think I did this right. I don't see how the underpainting shines through. It just looks like foundation's on my face. I have a problem where I think I can do everything on the first try, and my ego gets really hurt if I can't. This is one of those situations.
That's
This is my
relatable.
current
Most
favorite
relatable
mascara.
TikTok
Primer,
ever.
Mascara. My mascara doesn't budge when I wear this. I don't know what they put in this mascara, but wow.
this is a
What am I
very
doing?
swift
Hope
video,
this
isn't
looks
it?
good. Well, I probably won't wear this out, but it was fun to try. But yeah, this is the
She
face.
looks really nice. Okay, wait. Let me see. So, underpainting. One of my favorite ways of making really dramatic makeup look like you were born with it, girls. Underpainting has a bit of like a misnomer in the name. So, I think that there is a variation of technique when it comes to underpainting. One would assume that underpainting means that you paint under your foundation, and I think this is a little bit misconstrued, because I wouldn't say that's quite correct. At least in my personal opinion. Other makeup artists out there in the comments, you might disagree. Underpainting for me means painting everything into your foundation. Replicating your natural features, but in like shadow and light, all at the same time. The way that I start my underpainting is I'll go in with my favorite foundation, the one that I always use on camera, which you will always see me here because it gives me such a flawless high coverage base that lasts beautifully under these lights. I can film for hours and hours and hours without having to retouch or anything like that. Estee Lauder Double Wear. I do absolutely adore this foundation. I have never found anything that comes even close to it. A light layer all over the skin. However, I do not take it up under the eyes. Instead, under the eyes, I will put my concealer right up into the inner corner. I also use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer because that is actually also phenomenal. I will then apply a liquid contour across my cheekbone. This changes as and when I'm feeling like it. I feel like I haven't found that like holy grail liquid contour still after all these years. I've tried many different variations, shall we say. Actually, what I'm using at the moment is L'Oreal Infallible Concealer in the shade 340. I do a tiny dot here and I do a tiny dot here into my wet foundation. With the other side of my sponge, I blend it in so that it goes across my cheekbone, up into my hairline, and a little bit down the jaw. Using a high coverage concealer in this way allows it to be seen through the final step, which is setting. So, before I start setting everything, I apply a powder highlighter just to the very tippy tops of my cheekbones. And then I go in with powder all over the face. Set the areas underneath here with a tiny little fluffy brush just so that you know you're not absolutely missing anywhere, and then set the rest of the face. And in this process, you will be applying your powder over the top of your highlighter, your contour, everything, and it gives it a very slightly muted effect, just like how shadows and highlights would happen in nature. And this goes back to my earlier point, actually. Sometimes, depending on what I'm doing on camera, I will actually add an extra layer of like powder bronzer just to the little bits of my cheekbones to bring some warmth back to the face, because sometimes powder can mute it a little bit too much, but generally that's the key to underpainting. You can also use a little bit of liquid blush if you would like. I don't tend to wear blush very often.
She's dead to you now.
And this way, as you've blended everything into your skin and it's all set under one uniform layer of powder, you haven't overloaded the skin with too much product, which means it's going to last. And also it gives that kind of vibe of enhanced from within.
A witch.
My favorite. I love it. Absolutely love it. I think the reason why Mina's technique here didn't really work is because she used the Giorgio Armani, which is a really high coverage foundation, over the top of all of that detailing that she's done. Oh, it's all very scientific here on the Chanel, my lovelies. Makeup, who knew? Right, what's this one? Okay, this one is 5 seconds long. Are you ready? When you pay $190 for lashes and your esthetician rips them off. No, that is the worst thing. No, stop. I hope that they didn't actually just get fully ripped off, because that look at that, the state of that.
We're gonna die!
That to me is like a supremely, what's the word I'm gonna look for here that's not too offensive but also accurately describes the way I feel about this? A very unprofessional method of doing a facial, shall we say. I'm not an esthetician, but I'm pretty sure that the #1 rule is avoid eyebrows and avoid the eyes.
Well, yes.
Estheticians here in the comments, shed some illumination, please, I'm begging you. The glue that is used for like individual lashes is so strong because it's designed to be worn for like 4 to 6 weeks, depending on if you get infills or the such like. So the idea that something's just attached to those eyelashes and just fully clawing that lid away from the ball makes something in my spine turn to jelly? I don't like that. No, we're not doing all that. This is not the energy we want to take in sense for. No, it's not. No, goodbye. Right, what's this? My goodness. This is by Grayzinda City. Grayzinda City. Right, should we have a look? Right, what is this?
I went to the nail salon, my hometown nail salon, where gel manicures are $25, and then there was a lady coming around asking if I wanted my eyebrows tinted, and I said how much, and she said $8. So if you were in my shoes, you would have said yes too, because back in New York City, it costs $45.
Ooh.
And, you know, they put it on for like 10 minutes.
Those are some strong
and
brows.
whatever, I looked like the man from Angry Birds, whatever the character's name is. And then she took it off, and I was like, oh, like, she showed me, and I was like, no, like, you need to take it off. And she was like, it is off. These are your eyebrows. They look really good, and it really enhances the shape of your eyebrows. And I was like, okay. And then I left, and then I sat in the car contemplating my life and all the decisions I've made, because why would I fall for an $8 eyebrow tint? You know, like, who does that? Like, obviously I'm gonna come out looking like
they'll get you.
I have like the Nike logo on my face, and now I'm stuck with this, and I'm like scrubbing it, and it won't.
It's because
come
it's
off,
tinted.
and I'm like supposed to see people, and like now I'm gonna have to cancel because I can't go out in my hometown looking like this, and it's not coming off, and I don't know what to do. So any suggestions?
These could be saved,
be great.
but I'm also a little bit like,
Otherwise,
oh no,
you know, like,
just
rip
why?
the skin off my forehead if I keep doing this. Okay, that's all.
This poor girl. Oh, eyebrows are so fundamentally important to like any makeup look or just any image that you want to portray to anyone ever in the world ever. I've had some interesting eyebrow choices in my life, some through just not being able to really articulate what I want for my eyebrows, and others have just been a choice. Let's leave it at that. Eyebrow tinting is a bit of a weird one to me, because the amount of videos I see that literally are just tinting like front to back, full on, like dark brown, really thick, done. I don't actually feel like that is correct. I'm not an eyebrow dyeing specialist. Cancelled! But there has to be a level of like artistry and finessing into it. The same goes with like microblading, which I've had, which I kind of regret a bit. So, how would you fix eyebrows that have gone awry, shall we say? Eyebrows that are too thick, too dark, and too strong at the front. This is where you kind of have to get a little bit creative. The tint is on the skin, but it is also on the eyebrow hairs. Now, is there a way that you can mask that tint to make your eyebrows look a little bit more harmonious, a little bit less intense, shall we say?
Forget everything you know.
The way that I would tackle this is I would take the highest coverage concealer that I have. Depending on the type of eyebrow that you want the outcome of, either fully cover the front of your eyebrow to really create the lightest base possible, and then draw in hair-like strokes over the top with an eyeliner or with a liquid brow pen. It might not give you the best outcome because the colors are probably going to be a little bit strange, a little bit off, but with a little bit of finessing, you can get that trick to work quite well, especially whilst your eyebrows are fading. Another alternative you can use is get a high coverage brow product like, for example, the Sensorium Platinum Eyebrow Gel, and just gently cover the hairs at the front of your eyebrow just to create a little bit more of an ombre effect. You'll find that just lightening this little area here, it doesn't matter so much how dark these parts of the brow are because you can carve them out with concealer. But anything heavy here at the front really pulls the face in. It can be quite aging. It can also make you look a little bit like, how dare you talk to me like this?
You're heading for the Okay, young lady.
And not everybody wants to look like that. So yes, my lovelies, those are 2 little tricks you can do, aside from having to wait it out. Oh, okay. I recognize this color. I know what this is. I know what this is. Anybody here who has fashion hair colors or platinum blonde? This is a blue hair bleach. I don't know which system it is, so let's watch and see, shall we? Oh, what is this? Oh, no. Mute. Right, okay. Blue, yes. We're going to separate that section. Oh, yep, tail comb. Oh, that's so fragile. Oh, don't comb it. No. Over-processed. Oh! My worst nightmare. My worst nightmare. What have you done to this poor person? Okay, my lovelies. What's happened here? Too much product, too long, not enough care and attention has been paid to what is happening here. So, how does hair bleach lighten the hair? Your hair fiber has multiple different layers. A hair bleach will open the cuticles, enter in and lighten any of the natural pigment within the hair fiber. This is why hair bleach is not necessarily the first line of attack if you're trying to do a color correction. And because the cuticle does this with bleach, if you use too much bleach or too much of a strong bleach, or you leave it on for too long at too high strength, eventually those cuticles just go like this and rip away. And then the very hair fiber is weakened and will snap. That is what we are looking at right here. This hairdresser has left it on too long. They've used way too strong a bleach, blah, 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 blah. So back when I first started doing my own hair, this thing very quickly happened to me, because this was back in the day when it was just like, oh, get it done. Don't bother taking any time to make sure it's great. Just get it on and get it done. Use a 40 volume peroxide. Can you imagine? There's only a few hair types on this planet that can survive the onslaught of a 40 volume bleach. My Caucasian hair type is not one of them. My personal preference here on my Chanel, my lovelies, if you don't know, I do my own roots, I do my own hair every 4 to 6 weeks. It's been a bit more like 6 weeks recently, because it does take an extra long time because my hair is so long now. Ugh. This is all my natural hair. It's not my natural colour. I love to use the Wella Blondor system, either Blondorplex or regular Blondor, whichever one I can get, which is also a blue bleach. The blue pigments are meant to help with like neutralising tones as it lifts. Not quite sure how accurate that actually is. I think it's a bit negligible when you start to look at other factors like toners. I mix mine with either a 6 volume, which is a 1.9% peroxide, or a 10 volume, which is a 3% peroxide. And I leave it on my roots for between 2.5 hours and 3 hours, depending how cold the temperature is. Now, I know some of you in the comments are going to be like, no, Luxeria bleach only works for 45 minutes. How dare you? That's what I learned from my reputation. I'm going to tell you, no, that's not true. I do not reapply. I do it one session, one and done. Yes, the reaction will slow down over time, but the way the oxygenization process of the peroxide and the alkaline chemical composition of the powder mix together, if you use a lower volume of peroxide, that reaction is kept going for longer because there is less oxygenation happening to do the work of the outcome. So no, 45 minutes is in fact not the limit when you are talking about lower concentrations of peroxide. Tea! Did you know that, my loves? Wig tea!
Why don't you try on that lovely wig?
So the answer is, my lovelies, if you want to go platinum blonde, low and slow is best. However, salons obviously need to make money as well, and they sometimes balance this by doing a service faster. For me, the integrity of my hair is worth hours and hours and hours extra of my time. I would not be able to have hair this long and this healthy and this colour if I didn't go low and slow. Oh, colour theory, we do love you. What's this? Okay, right, okay. Going ginger update. My hair has fallen out.
My hair is falling out. When I did the strand test, I only left the bleach on for like 15 or 20 minutes, and my entire head was processing for like 40 minutes to like an hour.
Yes.
And I had used like permanent color remover like 2 days before I did this.
Oh,
Clumps are coming out.
Oh no!
Like,
oh
my god. Someone save me.
Oh, it looks chewy, doesn't it? Like you could just go...
Just so we can further see damage. There's the first photo. And for your entertainment, the second photo.
Oh my gosh, that is going to be so stretchy. I'm sorry, we have to look. We have to look at that again. What is that? That is going to be so stretchy and stringy, and every time you try and gently comb that, just, oh, it's all going to come out, and your hair is already really short. Sometimes the only way to fix a problem this bad is to shave one's head. Just Just gonna say it there. I don't know, however, what the colour was that she started out with, but if she used a colour remover, it does depend on what colour remover she used, because they're not all made equal and they're not all made the same. My favourite colour remover ever, I don't know if it's still done anymore, because it's been a long time since I've done any colour removal, permanent colour removal, shall I say, is the Affinage Eyebrow Tint. I'll put a photo on the screen. This stuff is incredible. It's so gentle and it removes permanent tones from the hair. Only dye tones, and you can use it as multiple different times as you want. But remember, slowly, slowly, slowly does it. If she only wanted to go to a ginger tone, let's just hazard a guess and say she had really dark brown hair, like a chocolate brown. She dyed it chocolate brown, chocolate brown. You just have to use a colour remover and maybe a bleach bath. Definitely not a 40-minute process. But 40-minute processing means that, her roots here must have been, naturally very, very light to get to this colour in 40 minutes from, maybe a box bleach. My roots would never get anywhere near this colour in 40 minutes from a box bleach. Maybe electric pine. When it comes to actually putting red tones over the top of, lightened tones, in order to create, a nice ginger outcome, you do not have to lift your hair this light. You really don't. Don't have to go anywhere near this level of lightness in order to create, gorgeous multi-tonal ginger effect. So I don't know where this lady found out this technique of, colour remover, then the bleach, because I don't think it was safe. This is my thing, though, as well, my lovelies. If you're not perhaps a professional, or you're not really confident or happy with an outcome going, severely awry, don't try this at home. All right, my lovelies, should we have a look at the last one? Oh, here we go. I was just talking about this. How random is that? Okay, microblading ruined my eyebrows. Okay, right, let's listen to Casey Ibrim.
Whoever got their eyebrows microbladed actually liked the results a few years later? Or do we all collectively fucking hate ourselves for making the worst decision of our lives? Because I have to every single month go and get my eyebrows laminated to cover up the green, grey, blue shit show that is left on my face that I've had a saline solution removal situation to try and get rid of, which my brows were bright red for 6 weeks and I had no idea that the healing was going to take that long, just to take a tiny bit of the pigment out. Biggest mistake ever. If you don't heed my advice and you still want to go ahead and book it, go down the artist page and maybe 2 or 3 years, click the people tagged in those photos that they put that look beautiful straight on the chair after they've been freshly done, and DM them and ask them if they like their brows a few years later, or if they fucking hate them, because I don't know a single person who got them done and actually ends up liking them.
Okay, wow, she is on the ball. That's on the game, and she's on the ball. Okay, my lovely, so let's talk microblading, shall we? I am one of these people, I didn't like my results of my microblading. I went to one of the best practitioners in London, and she made me wonky, and it was so annoying, it was so expensive, and I'm still dealing with the consequences years later. Had them done in 2021, it is now 2024. You won't be able to tell because I actually cover them quite expertly now during my makeup process before I repaint them on in a shape that I actually want. I had my eyebrows done in a way that they mapped them out and they all look really nice when I was laying like this. I was like, actually, yeah, they look pretty even. I like that. If you're going to get your eyebrows microbladed, make sure you stand up, walk around the room, look in mirrors in different lighting, look in mirrors in different places to see if they are actually flattering on your face. Because there's one thing for people to say oh, we're going to do it like this so they're absolutely symmetrical. Very rarely are our faces absolutely symmetrical. So yes, maths can help plan a great eyebrow, but if one side of your face is slightly lower than the other, it's going to look wonky because it's not going to be where your actual eyebrow is, or where a flattering position for your eyebrow is. I asked for lifted tails. I wanted my tails of my eyebrows to go straight out, basically, almost vertical, straight up. That's the way I love it. She filled them in going slightly down. So for a year, I had a downturned eyebrow, and it just was like, why have you done this? Why have you done this? And I didn't realize until it had healed, a month after you have it done, that it was in fact downturned. I really didn't like it. I told her about it, and she was like, well, no, that's just sometimes the way things... And I was like, no. I know I could have done a better job at microblading my eyebrows if I had the skill set that was correct to do this. As a makeup artist for multiple different years, I'm like, I could have done this. I really could have done this. I am also in the same position now of having a saline treatment in order to remove old microblading. And to be honest, it's not even that great at removing it. I think I might even just go in for laser pigment removal on my eyebrows, to be honest. The thing is, I do want them done again. I just want them done in a place where it's let me do the guidelines and then fill them in and then I'll be fine. I'll be fine, because I'll do it sitting up, I'll do it looking in this mirror, I'll do it over here, doing it over there, make sure I look great from all the angles. Love it. So, my lovelies, I want to hear your microblading stories. Do you love your microblading? Do you absolutely hate it? Worst thing you've ever done? Let me know in the comments box below, because I feel like I agree with this lady. I don't know many people that have years on had a great experience with microblading. Well, my lovelies, what a video that was. Oh, I was sent down a spiral of emotions. I can't imagine having my hair burnt off by bleach now. Could you imagine? That is kind of a worry I do have with my own self. I'm like, imagine if somehow I got the mixture wrong and I'm like, oh, well, now I have a clump fallen off here. Could you imagine? I'd be very upset because the rest of my hair is this long. It would take years to get to this length again. Does kind of frighten me. And with that, my lovelies, it's time for the Patreon. You can see yourself scrolling past on the screen here. Yes, you can. Let me know what you think about what we've seen in the TikToks today in the comments box below. Also, as I say, feel free to share with me any TikToks of unhinged makeup hacks or beauty fails that you've seen and you want me to react to. You never know, it might be in the next one, my loves. Today's Instagram shout-out goes to Jazzy Lou. Thank you so much for following me over on Instagram, you stunning woman on the go. If you want to be in with a chance of being featured in my next video's Instagram shout-out, make sure you follow me on Instagram. It is xxluxeria, and over there I share my travel and fashion content. And once again, my lovelies, I want to say a massive thank you to my top-tier Patreons. Orkos Samoji, Ariadia X, Becky Johnson, Beebles32, Shell Herman, Christy Crownover, Christina Kyle, ContraPoints, Elizabeth Stone, Emily Worsham, Eric Castillo, Finn Dunham, Jen Martin, Caitlin Wright, Larissa Says Relax, Leanne Jones, Les Banana, Min Mintier, Mariah Sherman, Miss Kiss, Novembrix, Paola Rivera, Ryan Vita, Stefutech, The Chaos Collective, and Vicky Walsh. You guys are helping this Chanel to thrive and survive through 2024, my lovelies. And you know what? I'm going to leave it on the note of, if you want to make sure the professional you've chosen for a service is very, very competent, use references. Get in contact with some of their older clients and see if they're still happy with the results. Great, great advice. And with that, my loves, I'll see you in the next one.